Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopiko Shama Kunda Radha Kundagiri Govardhan Ki Samveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Ki Jai. Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityananda Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shtarani Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamlam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagna Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Chaitanyam Krishna Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Spiritual life means ultimately it is Bhakti Yoga, and in Bhakti, devotees play a great role. They carry the mercy of Krishna in this world, and especially among devotees, Madhyama Bhakta, he distributes mercy of Krishna everywhere. In fact, we study in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that Krishna does not like to give bhakti. He gives liberation, but he does not give bhakti. So, therefore, bhakti is rarely attained. So, bhakti is rare, and similarly pure devotees are also rare. So, because bhakti is rare, Krishna does not like to give, so only devotees give this to conditioned souls. And associating with devotees, serving devotees, they are very important parts of Bhakti Yoga. So there are many angas connected with this in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And again, Rupa Goswami explains many angas connect out of the 64 connected with serving devotees, associating with devotees. And again in 5 potent forms of devotional service also. So it is one among them, associating with devotees or serving devotees. One among the 5 potents of. So why 5 potent forms of devotional service? Because why they are called as potent, 5 potent? Because they can easily give love of Godhead. And also Rupa Goswami in Upadeshamrita, he says avoiding bad association is favorable, or associating with non-devotees is very unfavorable, and associating with devotees is very favorable. So in both negative and positive way he explains. And who is asatsanga? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu defined devotee as one who gives up asatsanga. Asatsanga chadi yai Vaishnavachar. Krishna Bhakta are what is that? Asatsanga chadi yai Vaishnavachar. स्त्री संगी एक कप्य साधो Krishna Bhakta are. So what is asatsanga? He defines those who associate with women, they are asatsanga. And Krishna Bhakta, non-devotees of Krishna. So they may be even spiritualists, they may be jnanis, yogis. So we don't have any, they are asatsanga. So basically, anyone who has any goal other than Krishna is a satsanga in life. So that should be avoided, and we have to do sadhu sangha, which is favorable for devotional service. So this is also surrender to Krishna, because surrender means we accept those things which are favorable, we reject those things which are not favorable. And in fact, Krishna says, he defines who is a devotee. Like now we were discussing Vaishnava. According to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's definition, who is a Vaishnava? Even Krishna also says that many places. And others also have described it like that. One who says, who is my devotee, he is not my devotee. But one who is a devotee of my devotee is actual my devotee. Krishna said this to whom he said this? Arjuna in Adi Purana. Then, and in that verse also, Padma Purana, Lord Shiva's verse is there. What is the highest worship? Aradhana nam sarvesham Vishnu aradhana param tasmat parataram devi tadiyanam samarchanam. Those who are connected to Krishna, tadiya is highest. In definition of pure devotional service, this comes in Krishnanu Shilanam. Anukullena Krishnanu Shilanam. So Krishna word is defined as Krishna's devotees also. Anyone who is connected to devotee. Krishna's Dham, Krishna's paraphernalia, Krishna's. Everything is equally worshipable. Aradhya Bhagavan Prajesh Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam. Then so we see like that. Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnu aradhana param. And that verse is there. In fact, so our acharyas and especially Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we see, if you see that in Mukundamala Sutra that verse comes, Bratyasya Bratya Bratyasya, devotee of the. So similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also he said, Gopir Bhartur Padakamalayor Dasa Dhasanu Dasaha, servant of the servant of the servant. So we don't directly say, this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings. Who are we actually? Na ham vipro na chanarapati, na pi vaisho na shudro, na ham varani cha grahapati, varnasto yatirva, kintu prodhyan nikila paramananda punam pratabdev, Gopir Bhartur Padakamalayor Dasa. So anyway, ultimately, essence is that if you have to become dear to Krishna, we have to become dear to devotees. If we want mercy of Krishna, we should get the mercy of devotees. Like that. So in this song which we sang, Vaishnava Vandana, actually it is called as title. Here it is not given like that in this Hindi song book. So Govinda Devaki Nandan Das, his name is. So I don't remember much about him reading now. Previously I had heard and read. But anyway, if I remember correctly, he had offended devotees. He was a devotee of Durga, Kali. In Bengal they worship Kali also. There are Vaishnavas and there are Shaktas. So there are no much Shaivas in Vrindavana, in Bengal. There are no Shiva devotees. There is no much worship of Shiva. Maybe here and there a little bit, but mostly they are Durga Bhaktas, Mataji's Bhaktas. And there are devotees because of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's preaching. Vaishnavas. So he was a devotee of Durga, Mataji Bhakta, devotee of Mataji. So he offended devotees, but later somehow by devotees' mercy he became a devotee. He became a Vaishnava. Then he composed this song in praise of Vaishnavas, offering obeisance. Vaishnava Vandana it is called, offering obeisances. Oh, I forgot to tell that apart from our sampradaya in Sri Vaishnavas, so the respect and worship of Vaishnavas is very much prevalent. So serving Vaishnavas, similarly in our sampradaya also. So here we see that, of course, definition of Vaishnava will vary from sampradaya to sampradaya. Like among Madhvas, I think their definition of for them Vaishnava means mostly those here in Karnataka. Among the Brahmanas, there are two groups are there. One is Smartas and other are called Vaishnavas. It's a Vaishnava means it's a one kind of Brahmin community or Brahmin jati it is. So Brahmin caste it is. So Vaishnavas. Of course it was there like that in Tamil Nadu also. These Sri Vaishnavas are there, and there are Smarta Vaishnavas. Smarta Brahmins. Sri Vaishnava Brahmins. It depends on what is the conception of bhakti. Mostly in Madhva Sampradaya, conception of bhakti is that it is like Bhagavat Arpita Karma. You follow Varnashrama and connect it to Krishna. Surrender the results to Krishna. So, Bhagavat Arpita Karma it is. You have to follow your Brahmin Vritti and connect it to Krishna. Like that it is. But among the Sri Vaishnavas it is Prapatti. That is conception of bhakti. So Gaudiya Vaishnavas, it's mostly Raga Marga, spontaneous love, developing love for Krishna, but we are on the Vaidhi stage of that Raga Marga. In the beginning, we should not immediately jump, or until we develop attachment, we come to the stage of liberation from material bondage. We may adopt even Varnashrama and etc., all those things, according to the necessity. Okay, so he is offering obeisances. First he says, Vrindavana Vasi Vaishnavaraganam Pratame Vandana Kari Sabarachan. First I offer obeisances to residents of Vrindavan. Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he said, devotees of Vrindavan are highest. They are among all devotees. Of course, here he is not saying, first I offer obeisances to devotees of Vrindavan, then I offer obeisances to devotees of Jagannath Puri, then I offer obeisances to devotees of Navadvip, like that. He is not offering obeisances in context with the hierarchy of the devotees. So, because Vrindavan, Jagannath Puri and Navadvip, they are all same for us. I will explain that. Vrindavan is called as Madhurya Dham. Vrindavana Vasi Vaishnavaragan Pratame Vandana Kari Sabaracharan. I offer my respectful obeisances to all the devotees of Vrindavan in the beginning, at first place. First I offer obeisances to them. So then he says, Nilachala Vasiyata Mahaprabhurgan Bhumite Padiya Bandes Sabaracharan. So here, Nilachala Vasiyata Mahaprabhurgan. Vrindavan actually, presently it is mostly dominated by Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Presently means last 500 years from the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So few other groups are there, Nimbarkis are there, Vallabha Sampradayas are there. There is a temple of Sri Vaishnavas also. Sri Vaishnavas consider that as one of the Divya Deshams. There is a temple of Ranganatha there in Vrindavan area, Braj area. Exact place I don't know, I never visited that, but I heard and read about it. Like that. Then, so some little other groups are there. Then otherwise it is mostly because last 500 years Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went and he sent all his followers and they actually re-excavated, re-established the glory of Vrindavan. They built temples there. And like that, they did preaching, they wrote books. And they attracted attention of, Rajput kings who sponsored there. Of course, even Muslim kings also, they supported, patronized Gaudiya Vaishnavas, especially Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So Vrindavan. And Nilachala Vasiyata Mahaprabhurgan Bhumite Padiya Bande Sabarachar. So similarly, although the priests themselves, they are not followers Gaudiya Vaishnavas in Jagannath Puri. So they are, but in Jagannath Puri also it is mostly dominated by Mahaprabhu Sampradaya. Although other mats are also there. Again, every Sampradaya has a mat there. Vaishnava Sampradaya has, Madhvas have mat, Ramanujas have mat there. Of course, Shankaracharya also has a mat. Puri. Nilachala Vasiyata Mahaprabhurgan. Particularly here he is, even in Vrindavan nowadays there are a lot of Mayavadis. Prabhupada said, be careful, there are a lot of Mayavadis in Vrindavan area, he said. And of course, now lots of Sahajiyas also. Even at the time of Saraswati Thakur, after I think 1932 parikrama, in which our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada also attended that parikrama of Vrindavan. Prabhupada, Saraswati Thakur, or maybe before that, first parikrama or something, I don't remember now exactly. He said, after traveling all over Braj area, I did not find one pure devotee. All are neophytes, he said. So now it's all lot of Sahajiyas, then all Mayavadis, etc. are also filled. So here Nilachala Vasiyata Mahaprabhurgan Bhumite Padiya Bandho Sabara Charan. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of devotees of Mahaprabhu here, Mahaprabhu Gana, who are residing in Nilachala Vasi. So there were many there at the time of Mahaprabhu who were associates of Mahaprabhu. There were 9 famous yatis, sannyasis around Mahaprabhu. Paramananda Puri, Brahmananda Puri, etc. Of course, Ramchandra Puri was critical of Mahaprabhu. They were all actually sannyasi, god brothers of his Guru Ishwar Puri. But they were living with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then there is Swarup Damodar Goswami, Ramananda Rai, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Kashi Mishra, in whose house Mahaprabhu lived. Means little separate room was there. Then Ramananda Rai, he had 5 brothers were there. They were all Pancha Pandavas. And his father was there. So like that. One among them was Gopinath Patnaik. There is whole chapter dedicated in Chaitanya Charitamrita, deliverance of Gopinath Patnaik. So like that, Haridas Thakur lived there, and time to time Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, they came there. So, नीलाचल वासी यथ महाप्रभुर्गण भूमिते पड़िया बंधो सवार चरण. Here one thing is bhumite padiya. He is. I offer my respectful obeisances, falling at their feet, falling on the ground. He says, this is Ashtanga Dandavat. Navadvipa Vasiyata Mahaprabhur Bhakta Sabhara Charana Bandhu Haya Anurakta. Now Vrindavan is called as Madhurya Dham, and this Jagannath Puri is called as Vipralamba Kshetra. It is called as. Why Jagannath Puri is called as Vipralamba? Nilachala Vasi. Nilachala. Nilachala word. What is the meaning of the word Nilachala? Nilachala. Nila means blue. Achala. Achala means. Anyone knows Achala means? Achala means mountain. Vindhyachala, Nilachala, like that. Trikuta Achala, Trikuta Parvata. So it's a blue mountain it was. Now if you see, little bit we understand, when you enter Jagannath temple, it is like climbing, you see, right? There are staircases are there. It is climbing. But it was a whole mountain it was. Now that it has become city. In that city actually, Jagannath Puri, there is one Shiva temple which is underground. It means it is, you have to climb down actually. So there we come to know that actually it was a mountain and they have made it as, because city has developed. They have. So that Shiva temple is actually bottom of that hill, that mountain, and Jagannath temple is like on the top hill. I forgot the name of that Shiva actually. So many things. But anyway, if you want, after hearing this lecture, you can go through some books and find out what is the name of that. So Nilachala Vasiyata Mahaprabhur Gan Bhumite Padiya Bandhu Sabara Charan. So those who are devotees of Mahaprabhu in Nilachala, I fall on the ground and offer obeisances at their feet. Then this is Vipralamba Kshetra. This, what is that? Nilachal is. And it is considered as Kurukshetra also, because this whole farm of Jagannath, there are two stories of Lord Jagannath assuming such a farm. One is that pastime in Dwaraka. Rohini was narrating Vrindavan pastimes to all Dwarkavasis. So they had made Subhadra to stand at the door so that Krishna and Balaram don't come, to inform them if Krishna and Balaram come there, because if they hear about Vrindavan, immediately they run towards Vrindavan. It is said that in the night Krishna would chant the names of gopis, and his queens in Dwarka would be unhappy hearing that. So they would often, Krishna from Dwarka, he would start running towards Vrindavan, and they would catch him and bring back. So he was always feeling separation from Vrindavan. Anyway, by hearing that stories of our pastimes of Vrindavan, Subhadra Devi, she in ecstasy, all the transformations took place, and then Krishna and Balram also came there. And they assumed, by hearing, Subhadra didn't understand only, she could not inform because she was in ecstasy. And they came and they heard those first times, and they in ecstasy, their body also, their form also got transformed into Jagannath and Baladev forms. So, but this is also in Vrindavan, in Kurukshetra also. Kurukshetra, by seeing the condition of the gopis, Krishna and Balaram assumed such forms, and from Kurukshetra, gopis are pulling. That Ratha Yatra means what it is? It is pulling, taking Krishna from Dwaraka or Kurukshetra to Vrindavan. So Jagannath temple is considered as Dwaraka or Kurukshetra. That is, and therefore it is called as Vipralamba Kshetra, because that form is there of Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. So in separation they have assumed such form. And Gundicha temple is considered as Vrindavan. So Ratha Yatra is pulling Krishna from Dwarka to Gundicha. Then what else? So anyway, Neelachala is a Vipralamba Kshetra. Near Neelachala there is Alalnath temple is there. That is called Vigunita Vipralamba Kshetra. Saraswati Thakur, he gave these names actually. So Neelachala, the Alalnath temple is considered as Vigunita Vipralamba Kshetra. Why? Because 15 days after Snana Yatra, and between Snana Yatra and Ratha Yatra there is 15 days gap. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go to Alalnath because there is no darshan of Krishna or Jagannath in Jagannath Puri. So he would feel intense separation from Jagannath. So then, or it will be doubled. Therefore it is called Dvigunita Vipralamba Kshetra. Then anyway, so then here, third verse, Devakinandan Das, he offers obeisances to devotees of Navadvipa Vasiyata Mahaprabhur Bhakta Sabara Charana Bandhu Haya Anurakta. With great attachment here, that word is there. So with great attachment, I offer my respectful obeisances to devotees of Mahaprabhu who are residents of Navadvip, to their lotus feet. So Mahaprabhur Bhakta Yata Gauda Desha Sthiti Sabara Charana Bandho Khoriya Pranati. Now after Navadvip, which devotees he wants to offer obeisances? To Gauda Desha. All the Bengal. Navadvip is just part of Bengal. Gauda Desha. So Gauda Desha. How that name Gauda came to Bengal? Gauda Desha. Pancha Gauda. But how that Pancha Gauda name came? There was some dynasty of kings. So they ruled that place, therefore that name came. I think it is Sena dynasty only. They were only called as Gaudas. And Mayapur was their actually headquarters. And it was called as Gaudapura. We don't see any symptoms of any kings ruling there now presently. At least now, at least some villages are there. At the time of Saraswati Thakur, it was just some paddy fields everywhere. Rajapatana was there. Rajapatana is place where Saraswati Thakur chanted. Now present Chaitanya Gaudiya Mata. No, Ballala Digi. Anyway, like that. Navadvipa Vasi Ata Mahaprabhur Bhakta. So, Gauda Desha Sthiti Sabara Charana Bandhu Koriya Pranati. So, here Koriya Pranati is Pranati. Pranati means submitting. So, submitting to their lotus feet, I offer my respectful obeisances. Ye deshe vaise Gaurange Ragan Urdhva Bahu Kari Bandhu Sabara Charan. Okay, now Navadvip also, not only outside Navadvip also, wherever in different countries, wherever Mahaprabhu's devotees are there, I offer my respectful obeisances unto them. Actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu traveled all over India and he made devotees all over India. Everyone became devotees of Mahaprabhu, everyone became devotees of Krishna. So now Devaki Nandan Das is offering obeisances. Now devotees all over the world. So Ye deshe means presently it applies to devotees all over the world. Next it comes, you see how it's. Ye deshe vaise Gaurange Ragan Urdhva Bahu Kari Bandhu Sabara Charan. Urdhva Bahu Kari. My hands, raising my hands. So now, if you just do like this, it is simple pranam or offering respects. But if you raise your hands, what will happen? It is extra endeavor, right? Extra austerity it is. So with extra, so he offers obeisances to different devotees in different countries, all over, now presently all over the world. Hoi achen hoi bena prabhur yathadas sabara charana bandhu dante karadigas. Those who are devotees in the past of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotees in the past, and those who are going to become devotees in the future, for them also he offers obeisances. Everyone he is offering obeisances. Hoi achen hoi bena prabhur yatadas sabara charana bandho dante karigas. Then he said, Brahmanda tarite shakti dhare jane jane Ye Veda Purane Guna Gaye Ye Bashune. So these devotees, they have power to deliver the entire universe. And Ye Veda Purane Guna Gaye Ye Bashune. This is all described in the Vedas and Puranas. So Brahmanda Tarite Shakti Dhare Jane Jane. This is the speciality of devotees of Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhur Gana Sabha Patita Pavan Thai Lobe Mui Papi Loi No Sharan. Mahaprabhur Gana, all Mahaprabhu's associates are they are deliverers of the fallen, Patita Pavana. With that greed, because I know that they are deliverers of the fallen, with that greed, I take their shelter, he says. Thai lobe moi papi. Moi papi loi no sharana. Moi papi, I the sinful. So we are all sinful. Because we don't know how many sins we have committed. Anytime we may commit, now we may be avoiding because of association of devotees, but anytime we may become fall prey to. Prabhupada also said that. So members of Krishna consciousness movement should not, that comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered that Vasudeva Vipra in Kurmakshetra. There that Vasudeva Vipra, his body was, so many boils were there, and boils, pus used to come, and insects were there, they were eating that pus, insects were all over the body. He was suffering terribly. Mahaprabhu just embraced him and delivered him. Then he prays to Mahaprabhu, why did you do this? Now I will become proud. At least I was humble like that. So there Prabhupada, he says that members of Krishna consciousness movement should not forget that from where they were delivered, from what position they were delivered. So like that, we should remember that. Thai lobe mui papi loi na sharana. But if we don't remember our fallen condition, if we don't understand it, then how we will take shelter of others? If we think that we are already great personalities, then how we will take mui papi loi na sharana. Vandana karite mui khata shakti dhari, tamo buddhi doshe mui dhamba matra kari. So he says, with determination, I am offering obeisances. I have some energy in my body to offer obeisances. But still it is just fake, he says, dhamba matra kari. Why? Because of my tamo buddhi doshe. My buddhi is contaminated. I just make show of offering obeisances to devotees. So, like we every day offer obeisances, right? Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhu. So, mechanically. So, that means what he says is, we should really have humility and surrender for devotees. Not just mechanically, okay, morning I offered obeisances. That humility will be tested time to time, actually. Krishna will test that. It is, we are not going to. Externally we may show we are very humble and we just may go on. But time will come when you will be tested how much humility and surrender you have for devotees. That time we will be able to understand, or sometime we may not even understand that time also. That our obeisances, whatever we offered obeisances so long, it was just mechanical, dhamba matra or fake. Tatapi mukhera bhagya manera ullas, dosha kshami mo adhame khari nijadas. So he says that still what you all, now it is in, these words are in active voice actually. So some verses are in passive. Most of the verses are in passive voice. Now, directly he is addressing to the devotees. He is praying to devotees. That Tatapi mukhera bhagya manera ullas. So mukhera, it is mukhera bhagya. Mukhera means face. Mukhera means gunga, dumb, right? Dumb. Why he is calling, what is the connection here? Why he is calling himself dumb? Means his inability to offer prayers, offer glorification to the devotees. And it is a mukhera, means it's kind of some kind of dullness also it is. What is the fortune of this mukha? Hope it is not murkhera. Murkha, it should, kha should be big, yeah. What is the fortune of this? One fortune is that he has some happiness or enthusiasm in the mind. So that enthusiasm to offer obeisances is there. That is what is the fortune of this. Manira Ullas Dosha Kshami Mo Adhame Kare Nija Das. If there are some defects in offering obeisances, forgive this adhama and make me your servant, like that. Sarvavancha siddhi haya yama bandha chute jagate durlabha haya prema dana lute. What will happen by offering obeisances to devotees and surrendering to devotees? All our desires will be fulfilled. All our desires means here spiritual desires. We have so many spiritual desires, right? So many ambitions even after coming to bhakti. They will be fulfilled by offering obeisances to devotees. Yama bandha chute. This one you see. We are not still free from the control of Yamaraja because we have all the load of. So in 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam it is mentioned that Yamaraj controls only those living entities who are sinful. He doesn't have jurisdiction on pious living entities. He has only jurisdiction on sinful living entities because he punishes. So Yama bandha chute, because we have so many sinful baggage of sinful activities and reactions for those activities. So we are still under the control of Yamaraj, but by surrendering to devotees, by offering obeisances, just by offering obeisances, we become free from sinful reactions. We become free from the control of Yamaraj. We are released from the jurisdiction of Yamaraj. Jagate durlabhaya prema dana lute. Jagate durlabha prema dana lute. So he can steal that love which is very rare in this world. So love of Krishna is very rare in this world. Like in the beginning of Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is discussed that Krishna becomes pleased only by spontaneous devotional service, Raga Marga. Krishna means here Krishna Vrindavan. Vrindavan Krishna, Braja Krishna. But in this world, bhakti is always performed with Aishwarya Bhava, with awe and reverence. So which does not please Krishna actually. It is okay for Narayana and Lord of Vaikuntha. So this world is, it is mentioned there, whole world is filled with bhakti of awe and reverence, Aishwarya Bhava Mishra Bhakti. So therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared to preach Raga Marga. Prema rasa niryasa korite aswadana raga marga bhakti kaile. Raga marga bhakti korite pracharana. Prema rasa niryasa. He was relishing prema rasa and he was preaching raga marga bhakti. Rasika Shekara Krishna Parama Karuna. So like that. Sarva vancha siddhi ham haya yama bandha chute jagat durlabha haya prema dana lute. Manera vasana purna achirate hai devaki nandana dasaye love khai. So Manera vasana purna achirate. Achirate means अच्छी रात है. चिरात अचिरात, अनर्पित चिरात, चरिम चिरात, अचिरेनाधिगच्छति. Kshipram, what is that? Achirenadigachati. How it starts? Verse, say 12th chapter, no? Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I quickly deliver. Chirat means for long time. Achirat means quickly, very soon. Here, Manera Vasana Purna Hoya, Achirate Hai. So, mind's desires will be quickly fulfilled by obeisances. Devaki Nandana Dasa Yei Lobek Hai. So, with this greed, Devaki Nandan Das is offering obeisances. It is told about Raghunath Das Goswami, every day he would offer thousands of obeisances to devotees. And he would do parikrama of Radha Kunda, Shyama Kunda, Dandavat Parikrama. Raghunath Das Goswami. Actually, Radha Kunda is in his property. Radha Kunda is his property. That means if you want to attain Radha Kunda only, you have to go through Raghunath Das Goswami. And that geographical property, which is Radha Kunda, it is also in his name, Radha Kunda. Raghunath Das Goswami. Anyway, he used to offer obeisances. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Any questions, comments? No questions. Hare Krishna.